Mr. Gross, this committee wrote the FDIC requesting documents and communications referring or relating to the security breaches we've discussed here today. Are you aware of those letters?
I am.
The FDIC has certified that all responsive documents pursuant to this committee's request have been produced. Is that your understanding as of today?
I believe the office has been responsive to your inquiry, sir, yes.
Okay. Mr. Gross, did anyone in your office, to your knowledge, voice any concern regarding the manner, scope, or have any other concerns about the FDIC's response to this committee's request?
No one in my office had any concern with being responsive.
No one expressed any concerns about the documents you were providing?
No one in my office expressed any concern, sir.
What about other offices? Anyone in the FDIC expressed concerns about the comprehensiveness of the investigation of the documents you're providing?
I'm not aware of anyone expressing any concerns.
No one in the FDIC. Mr. Gross, are you aware of any internal FDIC documents responsive to the committee's request that were not produced to this committee?
I'm not aware of any that have not been provided, sir.
Mr. Gibson, to your knowledge, were all responsive documents produced to this committee?
Sir, was that direction?
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry, Mr. Gibson. That was directed to you. I was looking at Mr. Gross. Sorry. Mr. Gibson, to your knowledge, were all responsive documents produced to this committee?
Sir, we haven't reviewed the FDIC's production of documents to the committee. We received a request from the committee for FDIC documents that were in our possession, and we provided the documents that we had collected in the context of our audit.
Okay. So, Mr. Gross, just to summarize and make sure we understand, to your knowledge, you provided all the documents that were responsive to the committee's request?
To my knowledge, sir, we were responsive to the request. If there's a request for additional information, I stand ready to provide that.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Gross, what I have here is this is the stack of documents that the FDIC provided to the committee in response to our inquiry. This stack of documents, however, I may need a forklift. This stack of documents was provided to the committee by the Inspector General's office. Why were these documents not provided to the committee by the FDIC?
I had an opportunity to review the material provided by the IG, and reviewing that material, a lot of it is duplicative. So the material that you received from us with the incident response forms that are in there, it includes information that has been duplicated in the IG's response. The incident response forms provide a summary of the incident, and it may, in fact, provide a more comprehensive review of each of the incidents, more so than what's in the documents. I did note that there were several copies of what we call our data breach management guide that was included in the material provided by the Inspector General, and there were multiple copies of that. That document is still currently being developed and in review.
So let me make sure I understand what your statement here is today. That everything that you provided is also covered in the IGs. There's no more information in what the IG provided to us than what is covered in this stack of documents here. Is that what you're telling me?
I cannot make that as an affirmative statement, sir. I had a brief opportunity to review the IG's material yesterday, so I cannot say that it's a one-to-one correlation.
Well, you were saying it was duplicative.
I said quite a bit of the material that was in there was duplicative. There was multiple copies, for example, of the data breach management guide. There are multiple copies of that guide provided in their response to you.
Okay. There are many emails that were provided to us by the IG that were not included in your documents. Those are not duplicative.
I cannot speak to that without looking at the exact emails, but what we have in the incident response summary might be, well, I would think it's an encapsulation of what may be contained in emails that were transmitted between different entities that participated on the DBMT.
Okay. But you did say that you had reviewed the materials.
I did a cursory review.
A cursory review, but you have not looked at them. When were these Mr. Gibson, when were these documents provided?
Sir, I believe they were provided at 10 o'clock yesterday morning.
Okay. Has Mr. Gross received copies of these documents?
Yes, sir. We provided a copy of our, I don't know if Mr. Gross personally has. We provided a copy of our production to the Congress, to the FDIC, so they would be aware of what we gave.
And when was that provided?
At the same time we provided it to the committee.
So 10 o'clock yesterday morning?
Yes, sir, about 10 o'clock.
Allow me to clear my desk for a moment here. So, Mr. Gross, you still stand by your previous testimony that you did provide this committee all the documents that we requested?
That wasn't my statement, sir. I said I believe we were responsive to your request. If there's additional documents that you think are necessary or required, I stand ready to deliver that.
Okay, so you're acknowledging that there may not be some documents that we requested that the FDIC failed to provide us?
I believe our response to you was responsive. If there's other material or additional material that you deem that's warranted, I stand ready to provide that.
So you will provide every document that we request?
If there's a request for additional information, we stand ready to provide that.
Okay. Well, we requested the information the IG has actually provided as well. We're just asking for it to be comprehensive and all-inclusive. And so who's responsible for providing the documents in response to the committee's request?
When your letter came in, or when the letter came in for the information, that's sent to each of the officers that may have relevant information. Each of those officers then provide that information. There's a coordination effort that's done by our Office of Legal Affairs, and then it's put together as a comprehensive package for submission.
Were any directions, to your knowledge, were there any directions given to withhold or not provide certain documents to this committee?
No, sir.
To your knowledge, was anyone in your office or the legal division directed to limit the response to the committee's request?
I'm not aware of anyone making such a statement or providing any such direction.
I do have other questions, but I have run over the clock. I was a little more lenient with myself than I intended to be. I do have more questions. The chair's intention is to do a second round of questioning, and so at this time, I recognize the ranking member, Mr. Byer.